What's up, guys? So today, I just want to go over well, we're going to do a pump removal. So this is a Dahlke DP150 pump that I installed on this motor, and the motor died. Not the best choice. We're going to take the pump off this motor and put it onto this motor, as well as adding a pulley for running the air compressor. These pumps, the Dahlke pumps, fit on generally at least the DP150 fits on a 3/4 inch keyed shaft. So if you're taking them apart or putting them together, that's what it's going to be going on, such as this shaft right here. Some of the tools you'll definitely need a 7/16 wrench, a 1/2 inch wrench, a 5/32 hex, some sort of high temperature gasket silicone, such as this here, your 2.5 inch 3/4 bore pulley. These are not standard pulleys that you can get at a normal place. I had to order this from Proline because most of them that mount to here, you can't have this that mounting shoulder. The locking key needs to be in the pulley, and those are frickin', you can't find them. Proline has them, Keene probably has them, but other than that, I could not find them anywhere because any of the pulleys with a shoulder will not fit within the clearance zone here for that. So you can't just pick up a random aluminum cast pulley for that. Some paper towels. I may need other tools during this, but the first thing that you're gonna do, I mean, we will get to taking that apart, but the first thing I want to do here, so I have time to let it set and then cut, is going to be to put the gasket silicone in the keyway here. And you want it to basically, it needs to go most of the way down the keyway, except for where the pulley goes, which is going to be right about in there. So we can probably mark that. So we will attempt to mark this, just so we know we don't want to take the silicone past that point. You can kind of see right there. So pull that off. I've already cleaned this. I spun the motor up and rubbed all this down and stuff, so she should be clean. We are going to put our gasket silicone in here. And then what I've found is, so now we'll just kind of clean this up some. And what I use here is a little 3/4 inch. This is actually on one of these shafts when I got it, but kind of run it. And I messed that up somewhat. I've had to do this a couple times. I hate messing with silicone. Okay, that's out of there. Yes. Silicone's always a wreck. Okay, let's try this again. We're gonna put this in here initially. That's actually pretty close to that. They're gonna pull that to there. And let's fill this up again, okay? You may have to attempt this a couple times. Silicone is, to me, just always a pain in the ass to mess with. It gets on everything. It gets where you don't want it to go. See, we seem to have a little bit of a gap in there, which I don't like. Like I said, it might take a couple times. Just a little bit more. Yeah, it looks better. There we go. Perfect. So don't just get discouraged. It can take a couple tries here. And we're just gonna kind of touch this up a little bit. And that should do it. Now we'll just need to let that guy dry, and we'll get on to the rest of it. Okay, so now on to the removal of the pump that's on the existing motor. So first thing you're going to do is remove the outer clamshell, which is called the volute, and that's going to be four hex bolts right back in here. Hex bolts. And let me think about this before I strip anything. Yeah. Get them a little loose. It's all very tight fit in here, so it's hard to use much of ratchets or anything. But you take these little bolts off. We'll set them over here. These top two. Okay, those guys are removed. Now this guy just kind of pops off. A little bit of water in there from before. Dump that out. And we'll let that guy dry. So there's our inner part of the volute. Put some paper towels down to keep everything nice and clean. And then here we have our impeller. Right there. And that's held on by this half inch nut, screw, bolt, sorry. So you'll have to undo this, which I think it should just be clockwise, counterclockwise here. Now you put on a glove. This guy's pretty damn sharp and it can cut you. There we go. Pull this off. There's your bolt. This might take a little bit to work off because it's going to be stuck on there, I think, with probably a little bit of silicone. put too much force on anything. But the seal is going to have a friction lock on the shaft, and then there's probably the silicone as it hardened, locked on. Okay, we'll be back as we get that off. Okay, so I can't get it off with my hands. I can't get it off prying, so we're using a basically what a flywheel puller, and honestly, it's working great because I just barely. I'm not even putting pressure on it. I'm just hand twisting it, and it's pulling her right off very nicely. There we go. Perfect. Look at that. Just had to use a different bolt to stick in there. And there is our impeller. All off. We'll clean all that back out. So the next part will be to remove this as well as the seals on here, but you don't want to touch that ceramic part with your hands. You'll want to put on rubber gloves. Okay guys, so whenever you are working with any of these pump seals, Keene, Proline, Dahlke, Gold Grabber, any of these ones with ceramic seals, you want to wear gloves. You don't want to get any type of oil or anything on it, because that can ruin it and it'll make it leak. Okay, it's gonna be hard to get off. There we go. Okay. There we go. Rotate and spin and pull and pull and pull and pull and pull and pull. And there she is. We will clean this up a little bit. Because yeah, this surface right here is polished, and if you get like oil from your finger on it, it will mess up. So you don't want to do that. We'll set that right there. Now I just need to finish removing these mounting bolts in the back. Okay, now we're going to start installation of the pump and housing and pulley onto the new Honda GX 160 motor. So that should be fairly done there. Now we got our pulley wheel. It's going to have to go in there, and you want to make sure, usually one of these parts is ground out, and you want to make sure that's going in the direction open to where the pulley is. And this is going to be slightly difficult to do, because this pulley's got to get in here. So I have that correctly, maybe. Okay, so that's in. That's sitting on there, as you can see. I will have to tighten that set screw in there. But she's in there, and the pulley will come out that way. Okay. That's all in there. I think we're good on that. That should be good. We're good to start putting in the mounting bolts here now. I won't bore you with that. That's just a lot of threading. Okay, so now we're going to install the ceramic seal here. Make sure everything is nice and clean. And the face of it goes in up against that. So you got to make sure it stays seated together, which is slightly difficult to do. That went much easier than the first time I installed it. Okay, so that's on. And now the impeller, which let's clean this out a little bit. The impeller just basically gets pressed right on over this. And then your screw goes in. I don't think I'm grabbing yet though. There we go. And now we just tighten this all the way down, and that will snug up the seal against the impeller and the inner seal there. And that'll true everything out. And we should be watertight. Okay. So we have the bolt snugged with the wrench, just snug basically. And then Eric's instructions are basically to hold on the impeller and take an impact and hit it like with 1 or 2 hammers with the impact, and that is it. So that's good. Done. Done on that. And then the last part left is the reinstallation of the clamshell, or the volute, whichever you want to call it. Get that lined up, make sure. Just make sure our seal's nice and clean. There's an O-ring. You can see there's a little O-ring gasket right around the outside of that, so just making sure that's all nice and clean. Everything looks good. I think it's put up on that. And then all 4 of these little guys get installed. Get them started. And then we'll get them with the 7/16. And that there is the basics of a Dahlke pump removal and reinstallation. And it should be similar for any other keyed shaft style pump, though in the future here I will be doing a goal grabber one, and we will see if that is the same. So thanks for watching. Hope this was informative.